Time is running out for state legislators to pass emergency legislation to protect people's houses if they are unable to get to work and lose their paychecks because of a quarantine with forced isolation. Hello there, Larry Richardson here with a follow-up video on my effort to get citizens of all 50 states to get their legislators to pass an emergency bill to protect people if they lose work, aren't able to go to work because of a quarantine and forced isolation, and they don't have a paycheck coming in. We need a law in all 50 states, and it has to be at the state level, to protect those people by keeping mortgage companies from accruing interest and asking for payments and receiving payments until 30 days after the quarantine and isolation restrictions are lifted. You can watch my earlier video to find out a few more details. The important thing is that, first of all, this is not a new concept. This is not a new idea. Back in 2007, after the run of the coronavirus of 2002 through 2003, and then again a short run in 2006, there were several studies done, and high-level organizations did studies and asked that the federal government pass legislation to pay people and provide income guarantees and do all kinds of things that would protect people during a future quarantine or isolation situation. But nothing was ever done because they tried to do too much at once. My proposal is that the states do this themselves and they stay focused and keep it simple and do one thing in your emergency legislation, and that is to protect people from losing their houses or getting in a position where they might lose their house because they couldn't keep their mortgage payments up when they were not allowed to go to work. Okay, just a few things that since the last video, add these countries to the countries that have already initiated quarantines with isolation to different levels: Vietnam, Singapore, Italy, the Canary Islands, South Korea, Hong Kong, and there's probably others that I haven't even heard about. The important thing is this is most likely going to happen here in the United States. How long it'll be for, what the severity is, I'm not a soothsayer, I can't tell you. It may not be long enough to bother anybody, but if it is for an extended period of time, like in China, there's people that haven't been to work in over 2 months now. If it happens similarly here in the United States for any reason, we need laws to protect our citizens. Please notify your state representatives. Get them to work on this. They may tell you they can't do anything this session because the time for presenting bills is already over. Please remind them that they have the option of putting in a motion to rescind the rules and to submit an emergency bill. States do it all the time. Don't let them tell you they can't do it. Okay, here's my phone number. If you'd like to talk to me, I may have some practical ideas that would help you in your presentation to your representatives. Please join with me on this. It's going to take a lot of us getting in the ear of our representatives. They're not going to do this when just one person in each state asks them to do. We need to cause an avalanche on their phone lines of people asking them to do this. Thank you. Hey, I almost forgot. I have something I want to pass on to you. I want to thank Roger Angus of Colorado for sending this to me. Do you know that back in 1981, Dean Koontz wrote in one of his novels, and here's a quote from one page, "In around 2020, a severe pneumonia-like illness will spread throughout the globe, attacking the lungs and the bronchial tubes and resisting all known treatments." Then again we read, they call the stuff Huan 400 because it was developed at their rDNA labs outside of Wuhan, and it was the 400th viable strain of man-made microorganisms created at that research center. You know what? I'm convinced that if man's mind can dream it up, it just might someday happen.